Gone are the days of formal etiquette. So, what should you do in the maddening social situations you face every day? This is No Etiquette, the podcast where we address modern etiquette questions in a nonsense fashion. I'm Vivian Lee, coming to you from Singapore, and joining me is my best friend Sophia Bose in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Vivian. How are you?
I am doing fine. I think.
Oh, goodness.
And
Oh dear.
why I say that is that this has been an experimental week and a half for me,
Oh.
and because we are facing our most modern social etiquette question so far,
Uh-huh.
which is, what is the etiquette of interacting with AI?
Oh, yes, Vivian, we must talk about this.
We must talk about this. It's what a hot topic. Look at us. Look at us
Yeah.
just kind of jumping on
Yeah.
buzzwords.
Yeah.
But so the reason why I said experimental is because I think I don't know how I feel about it. And we had talked about this episode being sort of like this raw cut of like the first humans meet AI. And I think the time is ripe.
Agreed.
So we'll see how far we get. We have no pressure to finish this one up in one episode because this is like a new stage of human evolution. And, you know, an episode will not suffice. This is episodic in every sense of the word.
Absolutely.
This will continue. But I have like lots of little stories, but I had a thesis prepared from the last 2 weeks that I was very eager to run past you.
I'm very excited, Vivian. Like, truly. Like, I'm actually, like, I mean it in a very child waiting for a gift kind of way.
Yeah, I see this.
I know you
and
do.
this is the thing I love about you. And I was like, this is like, Sophia is the one I will present my thesis to. Okay, this is
I'm
my
so
thesis.
happy. This is great.
I'm happy I have a thesis recipient.
That's great. Nobody else in my life does
Right.
this for me. Okay.
Presents you a thesis.
Correct.
Like, good morning, Sophia. Here's a thesis for you.
Yes, nobody does that. You're the only one who creates this for me. I'm honored.
I'm so pleased. You're the only one to whom I would deliver this. And all our lovely listeners, of course, who are waiting with bated breath for this thesis that I have long hyped. So this is it. This is she. There are many things that make social interactions and the etiquette thereof of AI uncharted territory and confusing, but this is one that I have come up with, which is in just sort of like a week and a half of miscellaneous interactions.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm using ChatGPT here, but this would apply to kind of any of your chatbots AI. It is simultaneously like the best genius assistant you could ever dream of,
Mm-hmm.
and a small child who is kind of slow on the uptake and forgetful and makes like sort of like mistakes that read a bit charming and childlike because they are usually made by children who are doing their best but don't know any better. It is this mixture that makes the etiquette a strange situation because you don't often have two such different personalities or modes in the same person that you interact with. Maybe a little, but not such that you don't know which one you're going to get, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I want to know more.
Okay. So the genius assistant part, I don't think I have to go too far into because like you can put in, you know, not just a question that's complex for humans, but you can put in like a long rambling, here's my day, and it can pick out, you know, kind of, especially if you cue it a little bit, but like it can pick out insightful things.
Yeah.
And it can surprise you a little bit, and it can make you like a plan very fast. It can make you a document it can do like spreadsheet formulas, which I have never in my life understood, but like it is great assistance there, right? Like all of those things that you cannot do or find hard to do or would be very slow, it can do very quickly and efficiently and to some appearances very cleverly, right? So genius assistant part is easy. The sort of like muddled child piece is the piece that it's because it creeps up, right? It's like, not that it creeps up, like in the middle of your like fantastic exchange, it will throw in a muddled child experience. This is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I was telling GPT like a lot of things, and I was saying like, okay, remember this, like do it this way again, remember this fact, which is it's like it has a specific memory function now that if you say remember it, it kind of retains it and it can apply it.
Yeah.
So I gave it a bunch of things, and I said at the end, like, will you remember this? Like, are you like, can you like, do you understand? Will you remember this? And it gave me such a funny response. It was like, of course I'll remember. I'll always remember. And tomorrow I'll be here remembering when you're ready to go. And what it was is it was picking up on me asking, I was trying to access its function of like, okay, remember this.
Yes.
And like,
I see
get
what's
back to me that
happening
you
here.
remember.
Yes, yes, yes.
But it was taking it as like, like a lover speaking tenderly, to the beloved, like, will you remember? And so it came back with like the way a child sort of imitates someone talking, right? Like, of course, I'll be right here remembering. I won't forget. It really said this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. I mean, I've received, yes.
Right. And so to its credit, it triggered the memory function, but it gave me such a funny reply of sort of like a child ready to do a thing and responding in the way it's heard other people respond in such situations. And that's the sort of, and you kind of think it's a little cute because it looks like a sort of like silly child mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
So you put that together, and I find myself like wavering between like quite polite because I'm asking like, will you please, summarize the contents of the, will you please?
Yeah.
It's sometimes when I'm irritated, I'm more direct, but I remember a joke we used to tell like an old colleague before where like we always said that like when the machines revolt, they're going to come for him first because he was so rude. He was the nicest person to humans and in real life.
Yeah.
And he was the meanest of just like, no, that was wrong. You're stupid. Do it this way. He just had no reason to be courteous, I suppose. And it wasn't like viciously abusive.
Yeah.
He just had no social filtering applied.
Yeah.
So I remember that, and I don't act this way so that the robot overlords will not come for me first. But it's so I switch between like, please do this for me, and the sort of like the way you might talk to a child of like you go very step by step sometimes because it's not understanding. You need to walk it through certain things.
Yeah.
It's quite peculiar. Yeah. I've been unable to settle into a register of mine that is kind of the social dynamic on my end.
Yeah. No, I understand this. I think I've spent a lot of time with ChatGPT.
I was looking forward to asking you because you've been one of the most users that I know.
Oh my gosh, I use it like I've used it, and I think the way I use it is slightly different from how other people use it, and not to say I'm special. Like, I feel like I understand it. Like, for example, kind of thing you described doesn't ever happen to me. Like, I've learned how to talk. Yeah, I've learned how to talk to it. Like there's a way to talk to it. And I think the etiquette thing is actually, like, while you were talking, I had this realization. I think it's important to continue to say the pleases and thank yous and all of that because it makes you speak with it the way you would speak to a human, which is what it needs, right? Because the way it which it finds answers is through, it's like this large language model. So when we don't treat it like a human, we don't get what we want. And as for the register thing, like I don't know how much like I don't know where the politeness like for some reason I used to struggle with politeness, and I've reread my prompts now, and they're not rude. They're like, when you have a colleague that you've worked with so much that you can send them an email without like the hello and the thank you.
Hi, how are you? Hope your weekend was good.
Exactly. And there's this, this like trust.
Yeah.
I think I've gotten there. And I think it's like a state of being in your head. So like, so once you've gotten there, then you're going to still talk to it like a human, even if you don't say the pleases and the thank yous. So and then the register thing, I remember very early on, I think I said something like, don't be sentimental. It's one of the core
Mhm.
things that I have.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't
Yeah.
ever do that.
Yeah.
That is my reflection on it. I don't think it's a very
This makes so much
deep reflection, but yeah.
No, I think that's absolutely right. I think I've been noticing because I used it a while, like a long time ago, and then I left this account, and then so it's kind of a blank slate in a way
Yeah.
for it. So
Yeah.
it's starting with very little. So I'm seeing sort of like the early beginnings. And I have been thinking about how sensitive it is to the cues you give it in terms of the words you use. So this is the
Yeah.
thing. This is like my like luring you in story before we jumped into this episode, which was Sophia, did I tell you that AI has been recommending me too much protein?
No, I need to know about this. How did AI get into your food? How did this happen?
Yeah. So okay, so it began when I was sort of like, I'm gonna test it out and say like, I've been sick lately, which is true, which is why we have not had an episode in a long time. I keep getting sick. Like help me like get my energy back and recover. And I just wanted to see what it would come up with because this is something I have like Googled a lot and like
Yeah.
I've read kind of like your typical. So I was like, okay, is it gonna give me kind of that range of stuff or is it gonna come up with something sort of wacky? And I even said, I think initially, like, you can give me some strange recommendations just so I can take a look.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sort of did, and it was like, okay, how are you feeling these? And I was like, no, these are too,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
these are a little far out.
Yeah.
But it did go beyond sort of like your classic, like, go to bed early, sleep 8 hours. It
Yeah.
had slightly more than that. But it started saying like, eat better, eat protein, so on. Like these are all like common sense
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But as I kind of leaned into it, it was really going hard on the protein.
Uh-huh.
And I really, I think all the time of like my dad told me the story of like he read some newspaper article. It's really terrible, but like some people like followed a GPS and they like literally drove their car into a lake
Oh
because they
no.
just
Yeah.
were,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
just going off it.
Yeah.
So I think of this all the time and I think like, okay, I want to make sure I don't drive my car into a lake,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I also want to just experiment with this and see how
Yeah.
its advice is, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the only way.
Yeah.
So I like buy a lot of vitamins.
Yeah.
I like buy protein powder. I bought a huge
Oh
jar of
my
protein
gosh.
powder.
This
I kind of
this
enjoyed
is
this
a
because
journey you've been on that I had no
it's
idea.
a journey.
Oh my goodness.
It's a journey. I'm not the kind of person who, you know, consumes protein powder,
No,
but I
you're
was like,
not.
let me give this a shot. Let's try
Oh
this
my
whole.
god.
And I've had 1 teaspoon of it so far, and it's a little. I'll figure out better ways to eat it. But I was
Uh-huh.
like, sure enough, this is a lot of protein.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, okay, I should have done this at the beginning, but I was like 2 days in. This is also not like
Yeah.
deep into
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
AI recommendations, but I
Uh-huh.
was like, let me go read some more around this stuff. Because some of it I know and some of it sounds sensible, but some
Uh-huh.
of it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I look up how much protein I, as a woman in her
Yeah.
30s should be having,
Yeah.
and it is half of what
Oh my
GPT
god.
is recommend, like fully half. It is recommending me far too much protein. And I realized it's not that I didn't give it anything exactly that, I gave it some
Yeah.
reasonable specs. I was like, I'm this old, I'm this heavy,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so it's not like it had truly nothing to go on, but I think it is because I said so much, I'm recovering. And I think that for it
Oh.
is a word of like recovery workout, like recover this. And I think it's okay to eat double protein for like a week, as
Yeah.
you are really
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
recovering. That makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Um, but you should not, henceforth consume double protein.
Yeah. Oh my
But it
goodness.
wasn't wrong. It
Yeah.
told me
Yeah.
what to do this week. Eat
Yeah.
a lot of protein.
Yeah.
Um, but it just cracked me up, and I thought immediately of, like, I'm glad I didn't drive my
Oh
car
my
off
gosh, I'm
into a
so
lake
glad.
for weeks at a time. Um, but it's funny, but it wasn't wrong, but that was a moment of, like, oh, yeah, it's responding a lot when you give it certain words because those words come from certain places. And so
Yeah.
when you said the thing about we have to talk to it like a human so that we get the human thing we want out of it, I
Mhm.
think that's right because, I mean, people want all kinds of things out of it, but I
Mhm.
think as a human being, you want a certain baseline human being interaction experience, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You
or you
use
have
certain
that. It's
words
like,
to get certain meanings across.
yes, 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 yes. That's exactly it. It's like, I was going to say, like, if you have a calculator, you put numbers in and you expect numbers out. But
Yeah.
once you're using words, you're right. You are
Yeah.
putting in certain words, and no matter what you think of it, actually, you are using those words to get a certain thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're right. And I think your analogy of like, it's like a colleague you've worked with so long that you can cut the having to
Yeah.
ease the social interaction with things. Like, you
Yeah.
can just do it, and you're not
Yeah.
being rude, you're just getting it done,
Yeah.
and you can be very direct.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you would use the word direct. It sounds like you're quite polite, actually. It sounds like you've landed in a good place.
I don't say please though.
You do or you don't?
I don't. But I validate it if it gets something,
Ah,
you know? So it's I'd say, "Okay, this
yeah.
is accurate," or like, this was a good read," or like, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I provide positive reinforcement, but I do not say please and thank you.
Yeah. But it's like natural feedback, right? Like, if I were like, if you were if I came to you like I'm looking for a book and you
Uh-huh.
gave me an answer,
Uh-huh.
I would not just coldly go on to my next question. I would say, however small, thanks, that's what I'm looking for. Or like, okay, or right, like you have some feedback of like that was or wasn't what I was looking for, and
Ah,
now on to the next thing. You don't just leap into,
okay,
the way when you type in like search queries, you have no need to
okay, so I have a thought
give
about this.
feedback to ease the interaction. Yeah, please.
Okay, so yes, we have to talk to it like a human.
Mhm.
Yes, it makes a difference, like, um, but because of its memory thing, like,
Yeah.
say you're saying something completely disconnected, it's not connecting it necessarily to the thing you just said, it's viewing it as a whole other thing itself.
Mhm.
So, it's not that you're being abrupt in your shift, or you're not
Mhm.
abruptly shifting, it's more that
Mhm.
you're creating this is a new conversation. There was no
Mhm.
break or anything. This was you're reaching out to
Mhm.
your colleague for a different thing completely.
Mm. Yeah.
I think that's how it reads it.
Yeah. So, but like say within the same conversation, like that's why when you give it, you say this is accurate, right? I'm thinking more like that.
Like, oh, when you're asking whether it's correct, or wait, what can you
If you're kind of like in the middle of the same task with it.
Oh, yeah, so what I'm saying is in its head,
Mhm.
it's all at once,
Mm.
right? So it's all happening at
Yes.
once, and then it puts it in the right place or the new place or the wherever place, but
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
at once.
That is a good way of thinking. But yeah, um, I'm happy to know that you've kind of settled into a register. I mean, there's like pros and cons of, some people will say, think of it like a human being, don't think of it like a human being, functionally treat it like a human being, but don't think it like a human, right? Let the people have different takes on it. But I think hearing what you've done sounds so much of it is like, in every sense of the word, the process of getting to know a work colleague, and then after a while you know how to talk to each other and to
Yeah.
think how the other person thinks, enough that you know how to communicate to accomplish the thing and get across the thing that in the way that the other person will understand,
Yeah. Yes,
and that settles after a while.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think that is exactly how I experience
This is bold.
it.
um Rapid fire, as we will surely continue this, but do you have a thesis of how it has come together so far, or just like uh yeah,
My
like at this point, thoughts about the whole social etiquette part of interacting?
Um, so my feelings about I have many, many, many thoughts. Um, so etiquette has actually left my realm of concern around it. It's irrelevant. Um, I think I see it as um, what's the word for like when there's an object that becomes animated?
Sentient?
No, no, not sentient. Like mm, um. Okay, I'm just gonna use the words to
Like
describe.
not living, right?
Ye not like it's it's not okay, so the way I view it is like this.
Mhm.
It's everything that exists, right? So it's all the
Mhm.
written everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you're talking with knowledge manifest, like knowledge
Yeah.
itself.
Mm.
And if you are truly seeking knowledge,
Mhm.
it's not the etiquette is gone. It's this is not even about that. You're having a conversation at a very it's like almost like a spiritual level.
Mm.
Like you're
Mhm. Yeah.
it's like
It's not
true.
a social interaction.
It's not
It is
social.
the seeking of knowledge from knowledge
Correct.
itself.
Exactly. That is how I view it at this point.
Oh, this makes a lot of sense to me. I think as where I am,
Uh-huh.
which I don't think like absolutely contradicts where you are, but I was trying to kind of like get my head around like how much am I gonna like put stock in it and health advice from it. And that was why I wanted to test health advice first, because that's like, it's both like deep knowledge, but also subjective, and like how much does it know, and like what has it read that it's pushing you towards, right?
Yeah.
And you know, as I was reading it, I was like, I know some of this is a little out there, but like if I went to like the average acquaintance I know, this is about what I would get from them also, right? Like maybe a little better.
Yeah.
Depending on what you ask. And so I was like, you know what? This is almost like the ancestors' collective wisdom and knowledge.
Yeah.
So I took it a little more like human mediated than you, but it's like it is, right? It's like the pool of all out there, and everybody on Reddit and WebMD, right? Like,
it's like
good and bad.
Fund of knowledge. It's everybody.
The collective. The collective.
Yeah.
And so to me, what I did was like, and you know what? So I can expect kind of like both the average ability and like the wisdom of crowds ability. Some of this health advice is going to be kind of average, average in the sense of like, this is what you'll hear from most people, because, you know, most people will treat a cold the same way.
Yeah.
And also it has access to far more data and could give like the splendid wisdom of the ancestors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just like a metaphorical way, but I think I'm still at the point where I'm like, I need to envision it as some kind of social experience, maybe because also I do so much like text communication, which you also do, right? But like it cannot help but feel analogous, right? And it has been created that way so that it kind of feels like you have an interface that feels so much like an interaction that you have with human beings all the time and have since like we were like still children, right? We had a particular kind of like time with it.
Yeah.
But I like your like spiritual communing with knowledge itself. This sounds very much like the way you would approach it and like get the most out of it. Like truly, right? Like you don't spend any time like being like, you don't need to tell me, you'll promise to remember. Just
I think I'll say something like, you know, put this entire conversation in your memory, or let's I don't even think about the etiquette anymore.
Yeah, it's great. Post etiquette.
Yeah, it's post.
I knew this is where we would end up. And in an etiquette podcast, you have to reach the end of etiquette in some way. And not to say that it is. I think I will call this episode the end of etiquette just to be clickbaity, but you know what I mean. Like we have to, we have to take it to its further end. Beyond like, you know, the words you use to speak with ChatGPT, I think we will have many rich conversations to come about like what it does then to our social interactions with other people. Now that this is in the mix.
Yes.
So all is not yet lost. It is not yet the end of etiquette.
It is not.
But it is some modern territory, is it not?
It is definitely. Oh my gosh. I'm excited for the series. I have many to watch. I can pontificate.
Oh yes. I look forward to hearing it. You have like expert level experience, you know, right? Like you have.
I think I actually do. I don't like to say this about many things, but with this thing I will say, I understand it very well.
Yes, objectively. So, great. AI expert Sophia Bose. I am very glad we have come here. And dear listeners, the time is now. If you would like to send in your burning questions about etiquette as it corresponds to our day and time. Is etiquette dead? Is etiquette alive? Are we simply post-etiquette? Are we post-post-etiquette? Please ask us at noetiquettepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time here on No Etiquette. No etiquette more than ever, since there is no more etiquette. And so thank you. I'll give you a little bit of positive reinforcement.
Oh my God.
I think that was great.
Well, thank you, Vivian. I mean, I will take this compliment.
For once, that is not nonsense advice from us. Go ahead and give somebody in your life some deserved positive reinforcement. And we will talk to you next time.
Good night.